class, today I'm going to give you a couple of examples of SPT. So I know that my first step is to look for my greatest common factor. Because I don't have one in this problem, I'm going to go ahead and put none. Step 2 is I'm going to SPT it. So I know that in order to SPT, I need to find my ABC. Now remember, my ABC is because this is always written in the form AX squared plus BX plus C equals 0. So I know here that my A is 2, my B is 7, and my C is a 3. So my S is always going to be whatever my B is. So I know in this case my S is a 7. And my P is always going to be the product of A times C. So I know my P is going to be 6. So T is test. Those are numbers that you're going to test so that they'll satisfy being a product of 6 when I multiply them together and a sum of 7 when I add them together. So I know that all my products of 6 are 6 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now I know I can't add a 2 and 3 and get a 7, but I can add a 6 and a 1. And I can multiply them and get a product of 6 as well. So I know that in this case both of them need to be positive. So my third step is to rewrite my program. Rewrite my equation. So when I rewrite it, I'm substituting this 6 and the 1 for my middle term over here, which is the 7 and the x. So when I rewrite it, I'm going to have 2x squared. Instead of plus 7x, I'm going to write plus 6x plus 1x. And then I'm going to add my ending, which is a plus 3. So that's my step 3. Now my step 4 kind of goes in line with my step 3. And that is just to group them. So that means I'm going to group my first 2 terms and my second 2 terms, making sure I keep the sign at the beginning of my second term. So step 5 is to do GCF again. So when I look at my first term, 2x squared plus 6x, I know they both have in common a 2x. So I'm going to pull out a 2x. So when I divide my first term by 2x, I'm left with x plus 3. So now I need to do the same to my second term. And I know the greatest that they have in common is a 1. So I always have to pull the sign out with it. So when I pull out a positive 1, I'm left with the x plus 3. And remember, these are always going to be the same. If they're not, you know you made a mistake. And then my last step is 6, which is to rewrite. So I'm going to pull these 2 terms to the front, x plus 3. And I'm left with my 2x plus 1. So my other term is 2x plus 1. So that is my answer. Okay, now I'm going to do one that involves difference of squares. Remember, difference of squares, I'm okay if on your 200 problems you don't show all the steps, because you're going to go straight to asking yourself, what is the square root of that first term and what is the square root of that second term? And because I have a negative here, I know it's difference of squares. So I know that the square root of 4x squared is 2x. So I know I'm going to have 2 terms, and they're both going to be 2x. Start with 2x. And I know the square root of 9y squared is 3y. So my rule is one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative, and then I'm done. On your 200 problems, you're going to have about 50 of these where you can just do difference of squares, and this is all that I expect to see. Okay, good luck, and remember, talk to a classmate if you're struggling with this, or send me an email. Talk to you later. Bye.